Lucky SWEYNESSE back this week, Zach, in the feature, but he's got a lot more weight on his back.
Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? Obviously, he's won over the distance before in a lower class, but the way he's been finishing his races off over 1200, I think the distance is okay. It's just the weight he's got to carry on his back. It's always difficult in these Group 3 handicap races.
What about his jump last time in the international sprint? He looked to get out much better.
Yeah, and in the end, it probably put us in a spot that cost us the race, right? So, you know, it's the one time you wish he was probably a length slower and in a different spot. But he did get out well. For whatever reason, he stood really well in the gates, and that was probably the reason why he jumped. So, you know, he's drawn outside. It's always tricky when you draw outside in these small fields. A couple of the runners generally try and race a little bit out of their comfort zone, so we're just going to have to deal with that, but hopefully we can get across and just cruise along and, you know, give him his chance to run the distance with the weight.
You've done a lot of work on him recently. You're happy with where he's at?
Yeah, he's working really well. He needs to go back to the races. He's wanting to tag along a bit in his work, so he needs to blow the steam out.
Zach Beauty Eternal is back. He was scratched on the 27th of November with a lame right fore, but the recent trial looks like he's got no issues with that.
No, his trial was good, obviously. You know, if you look at it though, I think the whole field went to the line and over the line under a good hold. Even Asian One, who's a Class 5 1800 metre horse that got beat a long way on Wednesday night, went to the line under a good hold. So, for whatever reason, they were just jogging to the line, and he obviously, with his class, was travelling nicely. And once again, he was looking forward to getting back out there, and he did everything right, so I'm looking forward to riding him again.
His jump was very good on the trial as well. Was that a case of they all just jumped slow together, or he was better out of the gates?
For a couple of times in his trials, he has jumped well. I sat outside the lead in one trial, and he jumped well again in this trial. So when he stands right, he can get it right, but he wants to move around in there a little bit. He's still learning his trade, of course. So we'll just see how he begins. There's a lot of rubbish in the race, and there are a lot of horses that have probably got more speed than him that are no good going forward. So it's a case of, you know, which horse do I follow? I'm going to be stuck behind a lot of horses I don't want to be behind. So there is some concern there, but hopefully we can navigate a way out and give him his chance to show his best.
Jerry marked the moment. It was a very strong debut on the all-weather.
Yeah, he first started and he got a good barrier and he performed well.
You rode him in all 4 trials before that start. Was he a horse that just kept on improving before race day?
Yes, he's always give me a surprise. Every time after gallop or trial, he showed me he improved after that, and he's a very honest horse, and he got an early speed. Yes, easy to ride.
He switched to the turf this week. Looking at his Australian form, that doesn't look like it's going to cause you any issue.
No issue at all, I think, and he got a good barrier again, and he will be maybe behind pace or on the pace, and I think he will be got a chance.
What about coming back to the 1000 from the 1200? You said he's got extra speed. Is it enough speed to be competitive over the 1000?
Sure, he got a very good early speed and he can stay on. And last time 1200 and now dropped to 1000. I think he should handle this.
You ride for Pierre, a bit of a surprise winner on Wednesday night in the steward's room.
Yeah.
Were you confident going into the protest hearing?
To be honest, I think 50-50, but after we putting the statement and me and Pierre think we got a chance.
Tell us about Humble Star. He didn't really miss a beat despite those bumps down the straight. He looked like he kept giving his all.
Yeah, I think he's a quality horse, very high quality horse, but he's still immature in the race. He beat strong and not really settled down on the turns, but he in the straight, when I asked him, he keep going.
David Straight ARRON kicks off his Hong Kong career on Sunday. Hasn't been completely smooth sailing since he's been here. He's had that cannon bone injury.
Yes, he had a hairline fracture on his cannon bone. He never went sore, but because he's such a promising horse, we backed off for 6 weeks, and so instead of debuting on International Day, we're debuting this weekend. So it's set him back 6 weeks.
You've managed to get a couple of trials into him since then. Have you been happy with them?
Yes, we've given him easy trials. Haven't put him under real pressure, but gee, I like the way he travels, and he's got a good professional way about him. And it wouldn't surprise me if he won on the weekend, but clearly he's got a lot bigger fish to fry later in the season. So he'll really just keep improving out of the race.
You took him to Happy Valley for one of those trials. Was that just to keep him switched on, change of scenery?
Yeah, only because it was grass, and a trip across town, it is a bit more serious trial than a Sha Tin trial. So, he's carrying good condition, and it tightened him up a little bit.
Strawn barrier number 9, he hasn't shown blistering speed out of the gates either in Australia or the trials. Is that something you might look to work on with him, or it's just him?
Oh, look, I think you'll find that Happy Valley trialled in quite a nice spot in a pretty hot trial. I think when he's out to his distance, 2,000 metres, he won't be so far back. But I'd say from 9, first up after a long time, he'll be giving him a bit of a start at some stage. But finishing strongly down the outside, I hope.
You've got Zach on board. That's a tick of approval with the way he's riding at the moment.
Yeah, well, his record speaks for itself. So, Zach's probably got 20 horses to choose towards the Derby and the Classic Mile, and hopefully this horse can put his hand up.
You produced Flagship Warrior a week or two ago for an amazing debut win. Did you expect that from him?
I thought he'd run very well, like I do this horse, but it's one thing being a good horse overseas, it's another thing being a good horse here, and you have to show it, and Flagship did. So we're really excited. We were thrilled with Bonzapella the week before, so I think this horse is in their mould and should run well.
Flagship's pulled up well from that race?
Yeah, he has. He's a light-framed horse, so we probably won't see him again to the Classic Mile. You will see him in a trial, but he doesn't need to get any more points.